So if you are curious about what it takes as a high achiever, as a leader, as a C-suite, as someone that is an action taker, what it takes to have that level of inner peace and inner joy, then you're gonna love this convo, because that is what we're gonna dive deeper into today. Now, before I jump into this conversation with my amazing, amazing client, I want to introduce myself, because maybe we're meeting for the very first time. Hola, my name is Yenory, and I am a spiritual teacher. I am a guide. I am an icon. I am passionate about self-mastery, being the best version of myself, and showing up to every single room like God sent me there. And that's why I'm here today. Because one of the things that I'm really passionate about is supporting leaders and doing it in a way that brings them a lot of ease and joy. And I have partnered with leaders for, it's actually about to be a decade. It's actually a decade this year, working with them, supporting with them, helping them be the best version of themselves, whether it's through their bodies, through physical activity, through their mind. And now we are taking it all together and focusing on the core, which is our spiritual being. And I'm excited because during this conversation, you're going to talk to someone that has been a part of one of my containers, the Self-Trust Society is what it's called, where we have been partnering with leaders this entire year to support them in trusting themselves and trusting their inner voice and listening to that voice with action and confidence. So if you know that I am the mentor for you and you decide to partner with me, you are in for a treat, because your girl is officially accepting clients, y'all. She's back on the streets. She's here for you. She's ready to guide you and lead you. So we are accepting clients for our 2024 cohort. So if you want to know more about that, click the link above this video and let's check out our alignment and explore what magic we can co-create together. All right. Y'all ready? You ready to meet this icon I got for y'all today? Let me bring her on. First of all, just know, get your journals right now. Get your cup of water right now, because y'all about to get some good tea today. All right. So let's jump into it. I'm going to bring her on. Where's she at? And these are here. Hello, Jackie.
Hello.
It is
Thanks
so
for
good
having me.
to see you in here. I mean, I saw you last night, but
I know, right? Which
literally
is
saw
so
you
great.
last night. It is so great to
I
have
know.
you. I'm excited that y'all get to meet Jackie and hear her story, because you have seen me sharing about her journey on my page. And now you have her in the flesh so that you can see what her journey really has been like from her own lips. So Jackie, give us an opportunity to get to know you better by introducing yourself to the people.
Yes. So, hi, my name is Jackie. I grew up in New York City and now I am a Floridian, so excited about that. Um, and I've been working in the finance field, so just really excited to, in that, live life with ease. And so, yeah, I've just been really excited for this past year and what's coming up.
Oh, yeah. So
Yes.
Jackie and I actually went to college together. We went to the Rochester Institute of Technology together, two girlies from the Bronx.
Mhm.
And, it's just been such a joy to partner with you, because I remember meeting you in undergrad and just knowing like, yo, this girl, she about business. Like, don't nobody play with her. Like, she is so about business. And I feel like we all knew that about you, because you just exude that energy. We knew that if you wanted to get your homework done and you wanted to get your grades up, you could be hanging out with Jackie. If you wanted to be doing other things out here in the corners, well, you could be hanging out with me. So Jackie, let's jump into, how we got started working together. These conversations, y'all, they really are for us as much as they are for you, because there is so much power in telling a story, in hearing the story of people that are currently going through the thing that you desire to go through. So Jackie, talk to us about, where were you when you decided to reach out about us working together?
Yeah. I felt like I was at a place where it was just complicating everything. I felt like it was a little bit of like self sabotage of there were doors opening, but I wasn't trusting myself, understanding like what was best for me.
Mhm.
Um, and I saw the work you were doing with other people where I'm like, okay, at least I know this works. So I need to be a part of this so I can be on that other side.
That's awesome. I want you to help us paint the picture for people that are
Hmm.
watching or maybe watching later, because people really watch a lot of this stuff after, like later. Tell them what that looked like in your life, because sometimes we don't really
Hmm.
know what it looks like to be in that space. We're not able to conceptualize it. So give us some
Yeah.
examples of what was going on.
Yeah. Especially at the time, I was in the process of moving. I
Mhm,
wasn't sure what I wanted to do career wise as well. It was just like people would reach out, and just because a job, on paper seems good, but that doesn't mean it's
mhm,
the best for you. And I even stepped into a CFO role. And I'm like, oh, this is what I've been working towards. This would be great. And it's just something fell off. And so after
mhm,
joining, I realized it wasn't for me. Like it's like that door unlocked where I was able to really trust myself. And before that, I wouldn't have. So I would have still been there if it wasn't for
mhm,
me joining the society. So it was just being in a place where unhappy, just kind of is like this roller coaster of not knowing, do I make the decision? And you just kind of are stuck. And so
mhm,
that's where I was at, just constantly
mhm.
feeling stuck and couldn't move forward.
Yeah. How was that for you? Because you're very accomplished. Like you are, again, she's an icon. Like she's out here not really telling you all the deeds that she would be doing. But when I tell you she out here running it, she running it. So what was it like for you as someone that, is a leader, people look up to, people call, that is considered to be perhaps a problem solver in her family? What was it like for you to go through that experience and to be in that space?
Of after joining the society,
Before, like before
before.
when you were having those like feelings of frustration to some sense. I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I really
Hmm.
want to make sure
Right.
that you have that space.
Yeah. So it was, I think for me, that's what felt so frustrating because I've learned a lot in my career. And so the fact that like I was doing something, so I'm like, I'm doing something right, that I've progressed, but it just felt like I was hitting a wall where it was just like something's missing. And I couldn't figure out what that was. I felt like I was just in that again stuck. And so I'm just like, I know that life could be easier.
Mhm,
I didn't feel at peace.
mhm,
So it was like to accomplish many things, but I'm just like, what's that thing that's missing? That's something within me, or is
mhm,
it other people? And so it was just, it's tough because it's
mhm.
like I was able to grow in my career, and it was like, but I
Yeah.
should be happy. Why am
Mm,
I, unhappy?
mhm. Mm.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you took the space to share that, because that's a lot of our stories. Like we
Hmm.
climb this ladder, whatever the ladder is, whatever the thing that you was told, do X, Y, and Z, 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals happiness. And then you arrive there and you're like, huh, I'm not feeling it though. Like I'm here. It says that I'm supposed to feel it here, but I'm not feeling it. And that's a lot of what I feel like as leaders we often find ourselves experiencing once we hit a certain level in our success. And it really sounds to me like that's where you were. So what was the thing, and you alluded to this a little bit earlier, what was the thing that made you be like, all right, I want to be in the society? Like, I know I desire some support around this, but I want to be in here. I want to be in the Celtic society, and I want to be in under, I want to work with Yenory. I want her to like mentor me through this process. What made you like be like, that's where I want to take my talents?
I would say seeing and hearing from the clients that you've worked with as well, and then just knowing, like, you grew up in the Bronx as well. So the fact that it's like, hey, this is someone who's been in a similar situation as me, and like this person's living their life with ease. So it's like, it's possible. Whereas, you see some people and it's like things have been handed to them, and so they haven't worked for where they're at now. So I know you've put in the work, you've taught it to other people, and I've seen them apply it. So I'm like, okay, like again, I need what they got because I'm like, it can be easy, and I think I questioned. I was like, no, it's too good to be true. And so being on the other side, I'm like, should have signed up sooner. But I love the journey I'm on. But like it's been amazing to see the changes.
I love it. And let's just get into these changes. I actually got some questions for you in here that I wrote down. I wanted
Okay.
to I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, so I remember one of the things that you wanted to really look at when we first started working together was your morning routine, like how you were starting your day. What was going on with your morning routine, girl? Because I feel like every high achiever right now is leaning in, like, yeah, let's talk about these morning routines. What was going on with your morning routine? Where were you?
I would just get up, and there are times I'm like, I will get up early. I'm just in the bed doing nothing, and then it just felt like my day was slow and sluggish,
Mhm.
and it just took so long to like get the day started for me,
Mhm.
which was challenging. And I'm like, this is not the type of morning routine that successful people have. And so I'm like, if I want that, I have to change my morning routine. But it was just a struggle. Like I literally was almost throwing myself off the bed. I'm like, come on, get up. It was hard.
So you having this morning routine, what did you desire it to feel like? What were the things that you were looking to get out of your morning routine that were not there?
I wanted to one get up and just be grateful for the day of God allowing me to see a new day, because that's something that not everyone experiences. So just enjoying the day, being excited for it, not being at a place I'm like, oh, okay, I got to go to work or I got to go to the gym. Of just being excited for those things, like just experiencing like true joy, um, about every aspect of the day.
Mhm. I love it. So you joined the society, and then what happens
Mhm.
to your morning routine?
I'm up, like I'm actually been waking up before my alarm, which is really funny to me. I'll look and I'm like, it didn't even go off yet. And I'm like, all right, well, here we go. Let's get started. Getting up, stretching. You taught us the in bed gratitude, so I've been doing that. And even seeing in the midst of like, it's not like every day goes smoothly, but I just feel so equipped for it that I'm like, I got this. So even like I had to put out some fires at work today, and I was able to handle it, still finish early because I started my morning routine, like just going through it so different than I did before the society.
Thank you for sharing that. I actually want you to share how long did that take? Because I feel like when we talk about shifts in like our morning routine, it feels like it could take a
Hmm.
long time. I mean, you see all the stuff it can take like 30 days and XYZ days and 60 days and 90 days. What was your journey like? How long did it take you to go from waking up, checking the phone, or like say laying in the bed to being in a place where like I'm waking my phone, y'all, my
It's zoomed
iPhone,
up for
y'all,
dramatic effect.
it just does this on purpose. Like I'm not controlling this. So if you see me zooming in and zooming out any moment, it's my phone. It just does this. It's the thing that is into right now. As I was saying, how long did it take you to see these changes and to go from where you were to where you are now with it?
I started applying it, I would say pretty quickly. I would say after a week, was noticed because I started small because part
Mhm.
of the thing for me was to be consistent because I've tried different things and it might work for like a week or two or even a month. And then I noticed a few months later, I'm like, wait, I
Mhm.
stopped. And so this was like, I first noticed the change. I started small of just not grabbing my phone the second I get
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
Started with that, and then of actually like getting up or even just laying there for a moment, and doing my in bed gratitude. And from that, and journaling, when I look back over a month and a few months, I'm like, oh wow, I could just see the change in my journal, um,
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
just how I was feeling because I always journal in the morning and in the evening. And so just seeing, like, it was almost like two different people were writing when I look back.
Mhm.
So it's starting small. Like that's how fast it worked. It wasn't like, hey, make this change and in 6 months you'll feel it. Like I felt it. I felt the difference within a week, and it's like that grew even more, over time.
Mhm. Oh, thank you for sharing that because people may think it's going to take forever, y'all. And these things do not take forever. It takes having a clear path. And then when you have it, you're able to start implementing that. And that's why it's so important that you are desiring to make these changes because you are ready. And once you're ready, you're like, all right, tell me what it is, and I'm gonna act on it, and then you're gonna get the result. It's literally that simple. So you shift your morning routine, and you talked a little about this earlier. You got this new role, which is not the role you're in now, but you got a different role, CFO role, and you were there for how long?
6 months
You were there
before
for
I
6
left.
months. The past version of you, how long would she have stayed at this role and
Probably
why?
like 5 years. Just a feeling like, oh, it's like I had something to prove of like I can't just leave. I just started this job, and um of just more like, hey, career wise, like maybe it'll look bad on my resume. And that's funny because when I interviewed, and especially the role I have now, they weren't even worried about the fact that that job was only 6 months. It was like, oh, that's great. Like, we're so happy to have you. So the things I was worried about was nothing, no concern at all to other people.
How did the society help you go from being in a place where you would have stayed at a role for 5 years to being in a place where you were able to leave that role in 6 months after knowing that you
Hmm.
wasn't aligned? Like, what was it
Yeah.
about this, about the work that we were doing together that helped you make that shift?
Yeah. I feel like the biggest thing is, especially in the society, you give real examples. So some people are like, oh, you want things to change, do X, Y, and Z, and it's so vague where I couldn't figure out like how does this tie to like me specifically. And so the examples you gave, it helped me picture what it looked like to truly trust myself. I'm like, okay, my intuition like is there. I'm ignoring it the same way how some people pray and they're like, God, give me a sign, and you get the sign. And they're like, no, that's not it. And so I was able to like fully understand. And when I felt like it wasn't serving me, and I recognized it so quickly and it was so strong that it was like, for me to ignore it, then I have to acknowledge I'm intentionally ignoring it. Whereas before it was like this subtle feeling where it's like, is it there? Is it not there? But it was strong. And it hadn't been before. And I recognized that those feelings I felt before, but I wasn't in tune with myself to know that that's what that was.
I love that you talk about that because oftentimes people be like, I want a sign, God. Please give me a sign. And you are on your
Right.
20th sign. And you still being like, well, can it be this other sign? What about if you give me an extra sign? Like, I love that you brought that up because I see that, especially with my clients all the time. Like, they the sign girls, the sign guys. Give me a
Mm-hmm.
sign, give me a sign, let me know, and that's what happens. We have to be willing to trust and listen to that voice. I want you to go a little bit into this a little bit more because it's very challenging and uncomfortable. I'm gonna say challenging. It's uncomfortable to walk away from a role that you worked to get, right? Because it's not like you wasn't looking to get this role. Like you literally wanted to be in this position. Can you share a little bit about what were some of the challenges you experienced in this process of being like how did you know it was time to go? Walk us through it. How did you know it was time to go after you got it? And then what were the things that were coming up for you as you were making that decision to step away from it and maintain your inner peace in that process?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I felt like before the society, there are jobs where it would feel like, oh, um, some people is like, okay, well, not every day's a good day. So it's like, it makes you feel like, oh, just thug it out. And it's like, no, there's a difference of maybe a challenging day versus just a day to day of being unhappy in that work environment, of just the stress that comes with it. Like I feel like it was physically impacting me, and at that point, I was like, okay, something has to give. And I remember sharing that in the society, and you were encouraging, JP was encouraging, was trying to figure stuff out. And it was like by the end of that day, I was like, nope, it's time to go. Like I just knew it was just that voice was so loud. It was like, why? Like I trusted in myself that I'm talented enough that I was like, I'll work somewhere else. I'm like, there are business things that I'm trying to move forward. I was like trusting in myself that those things will come into fruition as well. I'm like, why are you worried? And it actually played out that way. I was able to step back into my university job for a bit. I had a cutoff date, didn't have a job lined up, but I trusted in God first and myself. And I was like, August 1st, I will have a job. And when I tell you, I got the job offer July 28th with a start date of August 1st. I was like, look at God. It was just trusting the process, and everything literally unfolded. Oh wait, you're muted.
I muted
Oh,
myself for a
Bluetooth.
second,
Oh, there
y'all,
we
so
go.
she wouldn't be too loud. But she's back. She's back. She's putting the fan
Get
out
the
for
fan.
her.
Get the
She's
fan.
putting the fan out because this is the type of trust that we're talking about. Like when we're used to
Yeah.
operating in a space where we're constantly making things happen, you can feel really dense to like let that go and be like, okay, here's what I desire. I'm pulling it out there and I'm gonna let it go and surrender, which we actually talked about yesterday in the society. I'm gonna surrender it and I'm gonna live my life. And you did that. How was that like? How did it feel to like say, I'm gonna do this thing and get it by this time and I'm gonna trust it even if I don't see it? And then it happened. What was that? What was the emotional journey of all of that?
It felt like literally just like almost like I could feel dead weight coming off. And what's interesting is the changes that I've been feeling in my time in the society. I didn't realize that other people can see it, because even when I told my mom, I was like, I'm leaving this job. She was like, okay. You know, most people, they were like, wait, like you don't have anything lined up yet. Like
Mhm.
my mother, my husband, the people in my circle, they were like, well, we know you got this. And so that even felt like it just, it just strengthened that, where it was just knowing like I'm on the right track of trusting myself. So it felt really good, because usually with job stuff I was nervous, but this one I was like, nope, I'm out, I'm good. And it's just that I didn't feel that. I've never felt that before, so it was weird initially, but I was like, oh, I like this. I want more of this.
More please,
Yes.
and more please. You know, it's so beautiful to watch you go through this process because it is a journey, y'all, and it is an uncomfortable journey. Like people don't realize how uncomfortable it really is to choose to go on this path. And I feel like this is a really good segue because there are so many pieces of us that gets impacted by our level of self-trust. There are so many things that it hits. It's not just our career or our business venture, it's also our partnership relationships. It's also our spouse marriage, like romantic and platonic relationships, and our parent relationship, whether being with our parents or being with people that we parent. And you wear all these roles, you wear all these hats. I'm curious for you. I'm curious about how this has impacted your marriage. How has being a member of the society impacted your marriage in your role as a mother?
Whew. It I don't feel like I'd be where I'm at now if it wasn't for the society of. I feel like I would say I'm still on the like newly married side, um, and just the transformation of even the conversations, because I had to stop playing the victim to things, and really owning my side of things, but then the understanding, like giving, receiving grace and giving it.
Mm,
Um, and it was just, there were things where it just made it so much easier, where I understood, like, again, going back to where you would give really good examples of, I would take a moment and just see my part in things. And if it wasn't for that, there were things that would just always get me frustrated, even in having a teenager. And I'm just so much more calm about it. I'm like, okay, well, like just looking at it for the solution, because it's like, well, we don't want to stay in a negative place. And so really deleting that negativity has gone so far. Um, so it was just more of, I'm at a better place. And if I'm taking care of myself, then I can better support, my husband and my son. So those were really huge. Like I didn't realize, I thought I was okay with communicating before, but it's like drastically different for the better as
mm,
well. Like my husband has even acknowledged like some of the changes, where there were conversations he was nervous about having before. It was like, oh, I thought you were going to get upset. Even the other day, something happened, and he was like, "Why you have attitude?" I was like, "I don't," and I really didn't. Like, it was something that maybe a year and a half ago it would have bothered me. I was just like, no, and it was like that level of peace. Like, it's just so comforting. Where it was just like, why stress myself out? It was like, life is short. And so having that grounded, that even as situations come up where you can get flustered, it's really really helpful to be able to reel yourself in, because it's almost like
mhm,
I relied on him to
mhm,
calm
mhm,
myself down. I was like, that's not fair to put on him. I need to be able to learn how to do that myself. And
mhm.
I really got that through the society.
Thank you for sharing. Actually, I want you to tell a little bit about what has it been like to have these uncomfortable conversations? Because I know it's been a big part of your journey. So, like,
Whew.
tell the people what it has been like to have these uncomfortable conversations, please.
Yeah. I I used to avoid it. Like I'd have to like hype myself up. I'm like there are certain conversation I went months avoiding, knowing that I needed to do it. I would feel like my heart pumping and all sweaty. I'm like, if you told me run a marathon and I don't run, I probably would choose that over the conversation. Like it was tough, but in that of learning to just embrace that. I went into it curious. I had like a hype playlist. I kind of worked through why I was uncomfortable and really getting to the root of it made it easier to have those conversations. But I'm like, I was like, for someone, because you don't know what the other person is going to say. But one of the things I learned through the society is that I'm like, I can only control myself and really embracing that, the approach to someone else's response. Because it was like, it doesn't matter. Because it was like, I know I came in a respectful way, I shared. So,
Mhm.
however they reacted, like, that's not on me.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm not 100% like, oh, I'm going to have an uncomfortable, like, jump in, but I'm also not avoiding them
Mhm.
anymore, um, which has been a huge game changer. And especially in the type of roles that I'm in, I have to have uncomfortable conversations. So it allows me to be a better person, to be more equipped to be in a VP role. But yeah, it's just, whew.
Come
I'm
on,
like, I don't know
VP.
if you didn't teach that to us. It would have been a lot of like, some people get real bold over email, and now I'm like, no, let's talk about this in person. What's up? So it's good to be able to embrace it, like have have some fun with it.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing because that's one thing that people do not realize. It's the level of intention that is required to walk a path of inner peace. It does require that we're having these uncomfortable conversations because as you are healing, you're gonna start feeling it. You're gonna be like, I don't want to avoid that anymore. There's something over here that's not in alignment with who I say I am in the world, and I want to change that. I want to stop acting in a way that is not the way that I desire to act, which we talk a lot about in the social society about how we're acting versus how we think we are acting and aligning ourselves with the version of that we desire to show up as. So it's just such a beautiful thing to watch because I just remember our first conversation before you joined the Self Society. Again, I've known Jackie for like literally it's gonna be 20 years
And
in
oh
two
my
years.
gosh,
Can you believe that? I found some old school
this
pictures
went
of
by
us
so
too. I
fast.
was like, oh my God, look at us babies. Um,
I know.
and I just know how much you wanted to be able to express those things with kindness and compassion because you don't have an issue with expressing yourself. It's about doing it in a way that feels aligned to your higher self. What has it been like for you to really grow your inner peace? How's your inner? Where was your inner peace at? Give us a score from 1 to 10 on where was your inner peace at the beginning before you started working with us, and tell us where your inner peace is now and how that has been like for you.
Yeah, when I reflected, it was really on a two. It was at a two when I started. It was like on paper, things looked like, oh my, things should be going so well and so happy and so peaceful, but it wasn't. I was at a two, and I feel like now I'm more at a nine, um, of just, again, like, been in situations that have been stressful and have still just been like, okay, it's fine. Just being able to, again, if I can't control it, why let it bring me to a different level? So it's just so, it feels great. It's a really great feeling. Because like just in the midst of chaos, especially anyone that has a teenager, like what that's like, and especially this generation. So to still be at peace, um, like some of the things my child does in high school, and it's like I laugh about it versus if this was me before, it's stressed out, crying, angry. I'm just like, like this is a teenager, understanding what it was like when I was in high school. Just I'm able to relate more to help both of us really. So like they feel more like they're at a place to come to me. So it was just I needed that, and I feel like even for what I've got the society, it was like really great timing. Like there are things that you would teach us, and I was like, how does she know? Like it was just always so well timed. Like I was like, I needed it. So especially we just did surrender, um, and so it was just every piece of information. I got it exactly when I needed it to be able to tackle, some things that come up.
Hmm. Listen, y'all, this journey is real. It is a very real
It
thing
is.
to choose to walk in your way, on your path in this way. And one thing I really appreciate about you being here, Jackie, is just your openness and your transparency around what this has looked like. Like it's easy to be like, well, I feel much more peaceful now versus being really clear around, no, this is the exact way that my life has shifted in the last year. It's gonna be a year this month. We're not even fully 12 months in. It's gonna be a year this month is gonna be a year, I believe. Yep,
Mhm.
this month. And to see your transformation, I'm like in such awe of you and what you've been able to do. And I remember telling you this when we first talked. I was like, yo, we about to do some magical ish together because I know how you move. I've known how you move since 2005.
Right.
So I know that when you get in this space, what you desire is not only your inevitability, it's available to you with a level of ease that you simply don't even realize. And to see you tap into that now and see you enjoy it and show up to it and really just be, powerful, it's just like such a beautiful thing to be a part of. So I want you to take a moment and really sit with like where you are now. I know you took a second to review your journals and stuff and pull some notes. So I'm going to give you about a minute or so you can sit down with what you want to share about where you are now and where you want to head to next. And while you do that, y'all, if y'all are here watching, first of all, I hope you got your journal ready because, again, I told you Jackie was gonna come with the gems. I don't even understand why y'all be playing with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me and don't play with her. Get your stuff together so that you can be a part of this transformation. And when I say get your stuff together, I'm talking about allowing yourself to be at peace with yourself. There is such a beautiful part about that. While Jackie is sitting with what's next for where she is now and what she wants to share about what's next for her, I want to invite those of you that are watching this and you're thinking like, yo, I want what she's having. More, please. And you know that I'm the person that you want to get it from. We are currently enrolling clients for 2024 to join the Self Trust Society. This is going to be a very amazing time because we are going to go through a process of healing and transformation collectively together. And in this process, you're going to see and discover a part of yourself that you have been dreaming with, that has been dabbling into your life, and you're going to put that version of yourself in charge. And when you do that, you're going to be able to experience the very same things that Jackie has experienced. You're going to be able to experience waking up in the morning and starting with you, ending the day with you, being able to laugh at things that before you would have wanted to fight people with. For you're going to be able to tap into those uncomfortable conversations. You may not be loving it, but you're not going to avoid them. And once you start having them more and more, you're going to find yourself enjoying your life more and more. And there is something so beautiful that occurs when we are in a peace. When we tap into our inner peace at a deeper level, y'all, everything changes because inner peace is not something that you have or you don't have. Inner peace is something that you dive deeper levels of. So if you are desiring to experience some of the things that Jackie has shared with you today, I want to invite you to apply for a self-trust mastery level obsession with me. And let's explore our alignment because you see it, you see the vibes, you want some. Come be a part of it. Come be a part of the fun, have a part of the experience, and let's have you here next time, sharing your transformation and sharing your story on how your life has transformed. So click above this video. There's a link or it's in the comments below, depending on when you're catching it. And let's explore our alignment. Jackie, so what are you now? You've been with us for 11 months. Where are you now? How are you feeling? And what do you want to do next?
I'm feeling great. What was really interesting is because it's almost been a year, I looked at there was a workbook that you shared with me in the beginning of kind of goal setting and kind of writing to my future self. And so to really look at it was like, oh, shoot, I did that. I did that. And initially I was talking about the CFO role, but when I really got down to it, I was writing about the role that I have now of how I wanted just to feel, I didn't want to feel like a fraud in the role that I was in. And in this one, I feel like it was for me, even have the CEO like just being so happy and thankful that I'm in the role. But it was something that just felt like a good fit. So it was just funny how I didn't realize I was writing to my future self in that way. And so wanting more of that, because I feel like in this within the year, there's more to do. Like I've come a long way of, it was essentially kind of shedding everything, and understanding what that looks like and being consistent with it. And now it's really the time to like master it. You know what I mean? Of like, okay, you shed your old ways. Now let's see what it looks like. That you know the things to do, you know how to trust yourself, what peace that you're working for, working towards. So now it's like, let's fully master, every aspect of it.
I love it. And that's the beauty of this journey is that it doesn't end. So you are always going to be shedding those old skins, whether, you realize it or not, and you will realize it. You know when you're shedding, you feel it. You're feeling the letting go. So it is really beautiful to see like you go through that shedding process and then step into that next level for you so that you can now take what you've learned and really hone it in and be able to take it in a way that really flourishes. Because these are seeds that we are planting. And the beautiful thing about planting seeds is that the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. So the seeds that you are planting in your life now, the seeds that we are all planting in our healing journey, they're going to be given fruit over and over and over again, because that's the beautiful thing about trees. They just don't give you one harvest. They give you harvest over and over and over and over again. So Jackie, I want to ask you, what advice or what thoughts would you share with someone that is considering joining the Self Trust Society for the 2024 cohort or in general, and they like on the fence? They're like, I don't know, is it gonna work for me? What's gonna happen? What would you tell that version, that person, or that version of yourself that might have had some of those questions? What would you
Yeah.
share with them?
Uh, One of the things that you had said that stuck with me was, to experience your wildest dreams, you must be willing to face your biggest internal battles with joy. And with that, it's like for people who want more, who want to really live life with ease, like it's possible. And in that, it's okay to have someone walk you through that to help challenge you, but in a supportive way. Because initially I was like, oh, Nora's going to read me, just come and be like, why are you doing this? And make me feel bad. And it was not like that at all. Like it was a challenge, but in a way that I received it. It was helpful. And I wouldn't have got that anywhere else. And so anyone that's just really willing, wanting to enjoy this life, like we have one body to fully enjoy that, then this is it. But to do it with joy, and experiencing that, like when things come up, it's you handle it so much with ease. We have things where our parents are getting older, the children, like there are things we can't control, but you can be equipped to handle it.
I love it. There's clearly an ambulance going on in my background. If y'all hear that, that's what's going on. I live in the city, y'all. Y'all know the vibes. Um, let's take a moment to let this pass. So take a sip of water while that's going on. This is what the East looks like. Because the old version of me would have been like, why is the ambulance here right now? I'm trying to do my live with my client. What's going on? And this version, like, God say I gotta hear the ambulance. Just hear it. Be okay with it. I love that you're sharing that you like express it in that way. Because it really is about the joy. It's about the joy of this experience. And many of us have just been so caught up on like the success of it all. Because the people that come in my containers or in my energy, they're very successful people. Success is not a problem. We don't have a success problem at all. We're very good at being successful. Actually, that is the thing that we are there to balance or to shift more, is to calibrate. I'm going to say balance, to calibrate our success into alignment with the life that we desire for ourselves. And I feel like your story is just really a powerful story because Most times we are thinking that we can avoid doing these things, that we can avoid having the conversation, we can avoid, feeling the feeling. And we can do those things without becoming them. We don't have to become these things that we're feeling. We don't have to become these things that we are experiencing. And that's why I'm really grateful for you in the opportunity to mentor you in this way, because, you're such a joy to work with. You're such a joy to work with, and you're willing to do the hard thing for yourself, which is one of the things that I often find is challenging, even for me, everybody. Sometimes you want to do the hard thing for you. You don't want to eat the thing that's healthy. You don't want to do the workout. You don't want to say the thing that you know is true because of that fear or that desire to, not to want to avoid conflict. So it is such a beautiful thing to watch you bloom in this way. And I am just so thrilled that we get to do it again next year,
Yes,
and do it
very
in a way
excited.
that is just takes you even greater heights, because you're a vibe. So if you're watching this and you're like, what kind of people am I gonna be in partnership with in this space? These are the type of people you're gonna be in partnership in this space, and they're gonna hold you accountable. So if you're not trying, I'm not gonna read you, because your partner, your accountability partners are going to be calling you out. So like, it's a beautiful relationship to have with people that are at your level and see you as a partner and a co-creator, and really do it out of love and compassion and in grace. So we're getting ready to close out, y'all. I feel like we just started this conversation, Jackie. Do you feel like we just got started and it's really like
I know.
wrap it up? It just goes by
Time is
so
flying.
it goes by so fast. I want to do something that I actually have never done on this call before, and I feel like it will be really beautiful to do. I would love for you to leave your past self and your future self a message on your journey. What would you tell the version of you that was like, all right, I'm going to do this back in 2022? And what would you tell the future version of you that has already done this part of it? What would you share? I want you to sit with what would you share with those versions of you. Okay, I'm gonna give you a minute, because I'm not gonna just throw you out there. I know how you move. I'm gonna give you a minute to think about it and to like maybe write a note or two if you want to. And while Jackie is taking a moment for herself, y'all, let me just talk to y'all real quick. Listen, we're just gonna keep it real. You want 2024 to be a year. You've been saying it already. Yeah, no, you love to say things like that. You're into that. And it is your year, because every year is your year. The question is not, would this be your year? The question is, who will you show up to as during this year? And in 2024, you have an invitation to be this version of you that you've been dreaming of being. You have this invitation, this opportunity to allow people in your life to support you and to love on you and to care for you and to give to you some of those things that you are so given to others. 2024 is a year where you can receive, where you can be supported, where you can be treated in a way that challenges your thinking and invites you to a higher level of your authenticity. And I decided to take you on that journey, especially if you want to go on it with me, because I know that this isn't always comfortable. And that doesn't mean that it's not designed for you and that it's not possible for you. Every single person that's watching this, ease and inner peace is your birthright. It's only about getting to it in a way that is in alignment. And that's what I am the best in the world at aligning you with the version of yourself that is in such a deep state of inner peace that whatever's happening around them, they can keep their cool. And if you've been following me this year, you know there's been some stuff that's been happening around me, and your girl has kept her cool. So it's not a fake cool. It's not it's not happening. It's a no. It's happening. It sucks, and I'm gonna choose to be okay. It's a different level of energy. And if you know that I'm the person to take you on that path, and you want to walk with us, you want to be a part of the Self Trust Society, be in partnership with leaders like Jackie, I want to invite you to be a part of that conversation. Click on the link above this video, book a Self Trust Mastery Level Up session with me. 45 minutes. We're going to talk one-on-one, and we can explore what's keeping you from showing up powerfully and sustaining that inner peace that you know you have access to in moments, making those moments your baseline. That's what we're going to focus on. So click on that link, talk to your girl. Let's explore alignment, and let's bring you on board for 2024 so that you can be here doing your own conversation with me a year from now, sharing your transformation and sharing your story. All right, we're gonna go back to Jackie. Go over to Jackie. Y'all like this camera thing I'm doing? Y'all see me out here? He's a producer. Jackie, tell us, what message will you give to the past version of you that said, yes, we're doing this, and the version of you that you are gonna be in the future?
Well, I'll start for the opposite. So, to my future self, I will say you're welcome, um, because I've done the through the work that you of focusing on delayed gratification, because it just leads to actually more gratification than instant. So, I would definitely say to future self, you're welcome. Um, and to my past self of just holding on to, like, we you can't focusing hard on the past and negativity, that's out the door. Staying true to the values, cherish the moments, and embracing the opportunities will pay off.
It's the you welcome for me. It's the you welcome, babes. You're welcome. You're welcome, babes. We did this. We did this.
Yes.
We did this. And I love that energy because, to be honest, we be trying to treat our past self with some shade sometimes. And this version of you that's taking the space to do this and show up in this way is setting you up for such a beautiful future that it's just remarkable. And she deserves all the love because she's put herself through some ish to
That part.
allow future stuff to come through. So yes, yes, and more yes. Y'all, we've hit the end of the road. Jackie, thank you so much for being here, for being a
Thank
part
you.
of the Sculptor Society, and for allowing your light to shine in this way. You are changing the life of so many people, not only people that are in your household, but the people that those people touch, and the people that those people are touching, the people that you're touching through your work, and the people that you're touching are touching. Like, our it's really a ripple effect of your inner peace, what's happening. And because of the decision that you've made, there are so many people that are now at a deeper level of peace, whether they know it or not, because of you, because of what you have decided to do. And I'm just so honored and grateful that you have trusted me to lead you in this way, back to yourself, and to continue encouraging you to show up in a really powerful way that leaves you feeling like you're welcome.
And
Because
thank
period.
you
Because
for
period.
unlocking that, not even just for myself, but offering that, because you could have been like, I'm keeping this to myself. And so to share that with others, has been amazing, and to see that from other people as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Any parting words you want to leave? Anything final? Give us the final word of today's live. Close it out for the people.
Close it up.
Close it
For
out for the
people,
people.
stop being difficult. Like, it's possible to live life with ease, so you know who to contact in order to make that happen. Because it's just come on the other side. Like, it's amazing over here, and so it's not something that's just reserved, for a select group. It's possible, and I didn't think I would be here, and so the fact that I am, I love it, and it's hope to see some other people join us.
And that's it. Thank you for joining us today, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day. Take care of your heart and your soul. My name is Yenory Pounso, and I'm here to make sure that you see things clearly. Hasta luego, mis amores. Thank you, Jackie.